Has pride and independence ever kept you from consulting your spouse on important decisions? Hey everyone, welcome back to the Couples Journey blog series podcast. We're on part 3 of Looking for a Good Excuse. Today, Ray shares a powerful reflection on how seeking God's wisdom, through wise counsel and humility, transforms our approach to marriage. Stay with us. Your journey to a Christ-centered partnership continues now. Here's Ray.
Proverbs 15, verse 22 says, "Without consultation, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors, they succeed." I used to have a habit of making purchases without consulting my wife. I also rarely considered having a small circle of trusted people I would turn to for advice on important matters. I would give thoughts to some decision based on the credentials or reputation of the person in front of me. But my years of independence had established a behavior of self-reliance, so much so that I often ignored my wife's input. One time in 2016, my wife was surprised when I picked her up from work in a brand new Audi Q7. I could see her shock and a bit of anger on her face. But because we had guests at the time, she managed to hold back her reaction. At that moment, I didn't realize how much my actions might affect her, or how they reflected on my attitudes towards our marriage. It was only later, after I accepted Jesus Christ at the end of 2018, that I began to understand my role as a husband and steward of God's blessing. Looking back, I see how my reckless decision to buy that car without considering the consequences not only impacted our finances, but also strained my relationship with my wife. When the COVID pandemic hit, our business was deeply affected. The car payment became a huge concern. It was tempting to blame myself, to get discouraged, or even to spark arguments with my wife. But we choose instead to come before God, pleading for His grace, mercy, and love. By His grace alone, we survived that difficult season and managed to pay off that vehicle completely. Many husbands fall into Satan's trap of pride. Pride in being the primary provider and forget the value of their wife's opinion or feedback. I've also seen how focusing only on having a circle of counselors, but having a poor connection and communication with your wife can lead to ignoring her voice altogether. Sadly, some believe that listening to their wife's counsel might indicate weakness. But if that perception goes unchecked, it can have serious consequences for our marriage. It's only through Jesus Christ that we can be freed from these wrong perspectives and unhealthy behaviors. It's through His grace that we can face the consequences of past decision and move forward. Satan wants us to feel weary, lose focus, and fall back into old patterns instead of Christ's truth. That's why it is important to stay grounded in God's Word. His Word is powerful enough to equip us and help us overcome Satan's temptation. In those moments when I face the consequences of my past choices, my wife Annie and I cling to the powerful words in Matthew 11:28-30. "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest in your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light."
Before we close, we want to invite you to engage with us and support the Couples Journey blog series podcast. By following this channel, leaving comments, and sharing episodes with your family and friends. You're helping us in our mission to transform marriages today. Your support encourages more couples to seek God's guidance and grow stronger together. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together, we can make a difference. Here's the final part of today's episode.
As we conclude today's episode, Ray shared that true strength lies in humility and seeking God's guidance, and not in our pride or independence. By relying on Christ and listening to one another, we can overcome past mistakes and grow closer to Him. Stay tuned tomorrow as Annie will share her reflections on this week's series.